So I think most of you probably, if you're from here or you went to school here, you probably understand tradition better than other people in the regular community of Texas. So you could understand that several years ago when we were trying to make the decision to change the Texas MS 150 after 35 years and move the finish line, it was a very, very, very big deal to change that tradition. So when we did it, we were going to execute it, 4 years ago? That didn't happen, thank you, COVID. Then it was gonna happen 3 years ago. That didn't happen, rain. But then last year, we finally were able to execute the ride. And it's gonna sound a little crazy, but it's the absolute truth. As I was coming from LaGrange here, I was driving through, I had the pleasure of getting to see a lot of the cyclists along the route on the way here, and I could see them riding and then get the vision that they had, that we were envisioning as they saw Kyle Field kind of from the distance off 60. And I got goosebumps. And then I came in and I sort of should have been doing a lot of other things. As president of the organization, I probably should have stopped, said hello to a lot of people, but I was like, no, I gotta get to the field. I wanted to experience it after that long of planning it out. So I happened to have the pleasure of seeing Michelle, who is on our staff and also is an Aggie. So I was like, Michelle, let's go now. Let's go down there. So we go down, and we just stood there, and I started crying profusely because it's like our dreams come true finally to have this extraordinary event that impacts so many people finally come to life in such a gorgeous place. And it was just, an amazing experience, and being on the field and seeing people come through and their own joy on their faces as they saw themselves on the big Jumbotron and hearing people cheer for them was just an extraordinary experience. Probably close second to actually me giving birth to my twins. It was that important in my life to be able to do this for the reason I say that is because this event isn't just important because we changed it and because of the community. I mean, it changes people's lives that live with MS. Not just in Texas, not in just Bryan, College Station, Houston, or Austin, truly all over the world. This is the largest fundraising event for MS in the entire world, so all over the globe. We raise more money than anybody else in the country, and it changes people's lives. You're going to hear from Rita in a minute. She'll tell you all the different ways. But for you all to have us here in this community has just been a complete blessing for the ride and for the people that are impacted by it. We're excited this year to be actually using part of Aggie Park now that it's done. So whenever people come around the finish line, they're going to hear from both sides of the street as they come in, as both sides of the street will be used. And maybe if construction's done, we'll be back for some people to be able to go into the stadium next year. But until then, we're excited about the different options this year, and we're just grateful to be back here in the community. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, and howdy. Howdy. It's so great to be here. We love College Station. I am an Aggie mom and wife, and it is so exciting that the Texas MS 150 will be ending in Texas A&M at the park this year. We're so excited about that. I've ridden for 13 years. This will be my 13th ride. I was diagnosed with MS in 2009. If you don't know about multiple sclerosis, it stinks. You look like you're fine, but you're not, and you really don't know what anyone's going through because it's just different for everybody. But I did lose my vision at one point, and I couldn't walk very well. And the reason that I'm so involved is because a really good friend of ours decided he was going to sign up for the ride in my honor one year, shows up with an orange bandana. I know it's orange, guys, but it's okay because there's a lot of power in that bandana. And he asked me to sign it, and I said, what am I signing? And he said, I'm doing the MS 150 in your honor because I felt so helpless, and I want you to sign this so that I can wear it on my ride. And I'll tell you, that year was the first year that we experienced the finish line. We brought our children to the finish line, and it was the most amazing experience ever. So many people were out there just cheering, and just when I looked around, I knew everything was going to be okay. So I encourage everyone to get involved. Guys, if I can ride a bike, you can ride a bike. It is not a race, it is a ride. The finish line may be different, but the goal is the same. Today, I was going to say that we had 23 disease-modifying therapies, but I was just updated. We're at 24 disease-modifying therapies. Every time I check, there's another one. 30 years ago, we had 0. This ride is making so much possible for so many people. There's over 2 million people living with multiple sclerosis in the world. I think there's way more than that, but we've made so much progress. Every year I think to myself, I wonder what this ride is going to make possible, and crossing that finish line never gets old. So I encourage everyone here, whether you're a student, whether you live here, whether you have a business, whatever it is, get involved. If you don't want to ride, you can donate to me, or you can just volunteer, or there's plenty of opportunities for sponsorships. But I encourage everybody to get involved and to come out and cheer the riders and to see what I'm talking about. It's an experience that you will not forget. So thank you everybody here in Bryan College Station, and we're so grateful that you have accepted us as your new family, and we can't wait to cross the finish line this year.